Ladies and Germans, Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how are you all doing? This is Connor.
I'm Ringru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we've heard your feedback. We want to bring you some, a 1v1 between Germans and Russians. It's a very novel idea on the Eastern Front.
Mm-hmm.
But we are on the map of Sechenderin. If anyone can actually teach me the right way to say that, by all means, let's do it. But we're bringing you some of the SD League Season 2, I want to say. So, Rang, who's fighting? What are they bringing?
Well, on the left-hand side, in blue, we have Kato Megumi.zz or ZZ playing as Group Hartnik, Vanguard Income. And on the right-hand side, we have Frubblord playing 9th Cavalry with Vanguard Income.
Oh, right. So, like we said, this is the SD League Season 2, and the way that we're working out now is like we have something like 35 or 40 players split across 4 different groups. And I think that was just seeded by the ELO as the ladder went into the season. So this is from Group 2. This is from Group Manstein. There's also Zhukov, I'm checking my notes here, Guderian, and Rokosowski. Whatever.
Sounds Russian.
Exactly, Rocco over there. So we have some really, really great players. I'm actually super excited to see how this goes as we go into the Death on the Vistula update, which is supposed to drop pretty damn soon.
Yep, just a few days from now that this video is being released.
Indeed. Indeed. So this map right here, we don't get a ton of this map. In fact, honestly, we get such a little bit, a little amount of it that you've just heard me not be able to say it before.
Yeah, it's a really interesting map. I mean, the big part is the amount of waterfront real estate that is on it, so it definitely cuts it down and narrows it down a bit. It's not bridge choke point hell, which I give it a thumbs up for, but you pretty much got the northern side of the map, which is a town firefight. You've got the battle of the two hills in the middle, and then down south is a little bit more open plainsy a bit with, the big fight for Hamburger Hill down south.
Indeed. Now, interestingly enough, looks like both sides are loading up on their respective right flanks. On the northern side of Frubblord, we have tons and tons of Razvedkas. We have an Otomachiki opening, and Cossacks in every shape and form.
Oh, Cossacks, man.
Well, you know what, man? If you're gonna go on a trip, you want to pack as many socks as you can.
It's true, that's true. They get ret, and it's really, really annoying to be in ret shocks.
Yeah, yeah, and being even a wet soldier is even worse because you smell it and you have a gun.
Yeah.
But Kato has put up several squads of stealth troops as well as Jaeger Pioneers. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to see a very, very quick bleed over here on the northern side.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be enough to deal with just the sheer amount of Saparis and other Kazaki troops being rusting up north. And this is honestly the best play for Frubblord to do, because his deck is definitely much more focused on the infantry aspect. He's not going to have a great time in tank-on-tank battles, so capture the town. Go for it.
Indeed. Now, down south, we are going to see, though, more than their share of armored vehicles. We got a couple of T-34s, including a recon version, which is not that common, but definitely what you see fairly regularly. But an early Tiger on the opposite side, I don't think these Russian tanks are going to have the distance.
Yeah, that Tiger's in perfect position against perfect opponents, and it's going to be pretty much able to just shut down that Russian armored push.
Well, and it doesn't help that there's a captured Zis gun being fired at the Russians as well.
Or
That
insult to
184
injury.
that's right there. Oy, yeah, and you know what? This Russian infantry is getting absolutely shellacked by the Lukes over there, as well as some attendant infantry, and that's going to be a very, very poor area for them.
Yeah, it's pretty good capture of the hill here by Kato. Because once you hold that hill or capture it, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy to hold, I will admit, and it gives you a great overview of the rest of the southern area of the map.
Certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Now, returning to the north, we are going to see, like we suppose, that Russian infantry is beginning to swarm.
All the Kazakis and Safaris.
But interestingly, we're actually seeing Reitjäger's MP44s. Not too cost effective on the card though, aren't they? Are they?
Yeah, they're not as good compared to like Sturmschützens. I mean, the main thing is the Botax and infantry, and sometimes the SMGs feel a little bit useless. But STGs, there's still STGs, and having, I believe, 7 of them is not bad.
That is certainly the hope, anyway. The ultimate cheekies, I feel like we've seen such a recent dearth of effectiveness from them. They kind of come in, they take one burst of fire, and they immediately die. But they're proving to be at least somewhat viable in the north.
Yeah, it's kind of rare to use Avtomachiki Squadge a little bit, like the close range SMG Squadge, as it can be very hard in ST2 to close the distance, especially if you're not microing correctly. So yeah, it's just a little bit weird. Once you do get close, and it's not like an STG Squad, you can usually do pretty decent damage.
Now, we are going to see a Rush T-34 to the north has been taken out, but Kato is responding with another Tiger, so he doesn't care that those things are endangered. He is going to throw them on the front lines.
That's pretty much a whole card's worth of A-phase Tigers taken out, so he's probably not going to have another Tiger to your B-phase.
Yeah, not too card efficient otherwise. We are going to see this Emtra's going to come in and probably wax the floor with this poor P2, unless he gets him on the turn. He is so close right now. This is literally tanks at 20 paces. Yeah.
Stabilizers.
Oh, please. The thing was like, okay, I could have missed that shot. And just with that in mind, though, some more Superiors coming in, more Kazakhs coming in, more Emchas, and Valentines as well. We forget to mention every now and again that this is the Lend-Lease deck.
One of the many.
Yes, well, that's true. That is fair. But the Valentine tanks, I kind of overlooked the fact that their AT gun is surprisingly good.
It's a really, 6-pounders in this game are phenomenal. Yes, it's only 115 AP, but it shoots 12 rounds a minute. And it's, pretty accurate as well. So, it's pretty much just a very slow, not so mobile gun platform.
I was going to say, I was waiting for you to say the term machine gun, and I was going to be like, machine gun? I don't know about that, but sure, maybe, oh wow, an SDKF said on the back of that flatbed already, so we got a flak Vierling in the south, we have a Hetzer to the north, so I'm super excited and at the same time terrified for the Russian forces.
Yeah. Same time though that's actually very interesting taking out Flag Vierling card, because you only get one per card in A-phase, and as you all know of Hartnick, you really don't have much anti-aircraft cards, so you might have another card of AA, well, it might just be literally his only anti-air in the entire deck. We have to see.
A second Hetzer being brought to the north as we speak. Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, we still haven't seen a nerf really to AA, so... And the 9th Cavalry is not exactly well known for its air power as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really have anything great in terms of airplanes, just some basic fighters and rocket planes.
Really? I don't really think it's too much to write home about.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised by the amount of material being invested in the south and the relative immobility of it over here for Kato. Especially bringing in AirSats machine gun. I didn't even expect to see any AirSats cards whatsoever.
You got, with Hartnick, you got those really good AirSats MG cards, because you get, 8 AirSats machine guns for one card, which is pretty good for a machine gun. Yes, they're disheartened, but it's better to be disheartened when you're shooting the guy from 1.5 kilometers away and 300 meters away. It's a little bit more heartening at range.
Definitely. Oh, that's definitely true. Now, we are going to get ourselves a 76-2 on the northern edge of the map, which is an interesting position. How do you feel about that?
That is definitely... I like it, because when a lot of people use these artillery guns, the F-22s, they're like, okay, I'm going to keep it on the back line. No, it's really inaccurate. You pretty much just have to use... You have to use it like an infantry support gun right up at the front, so it can actually get some accurate fire on what you're shooting at. I mean, apart from that, it's pretty much like a ZIS-3. I mean, it has a bunch of AP cells. You can use it as an AT gun. It's not great, but it's better than not having AP shells.
I actually do like this 184. This is on the south central hillside, the western of the two hills. I really like the position. I just kind of wish the gun had a little bit more penetration. That'd be an absolutely devastating position for, a wannabe kind of 88. Obviously, it's not going to be happening very quickly here, but...
Yeah, it's getting great coverage on that town. And this is where it's going to get pretty interesting. As we saw in the early stages of the match, Frub pushed his far right, and then Kato pushed his far right. And that push has definitely paid off for Kato, as he's managed to exploit up into the middle area of the map, and he's getting that nice +1 point or flag advantage over Frub. And Frub's a little bit stuck in the town at the moment. He's having a hard time really pushing out of it.
Yeah, I'm actually also surprised that we have an entire card's worth of Hetzers to the north.
But yeah, it's quite a few hatches.
So Tiger and Hetzers.
It's
Like, I
a lot
get
of
it, but
armor.
at the same time, I don't quite. It just seems a little bit
Yeah,
excessive.
having all those 80, I guess it's really to deal with the Shermans, but you could definitely use it more like artillery, infantry, fire support units to help deal getting in a town. Because usually like one Tiger, one Hetzer should be enough to deal with any pesky Shermans. So he is taking a very ballsy move and moving that Tiger up. There's not really much infantry support.
It's gonna die. Here comes the Kazakhs with an RPG 43. Okay, good. Thank you for not being too close there. I promise I'll stuff the Deutsche Lean over here away in just a second. I'm too used to having too many German divisions in every direction.
Mm-hmm.
We are 20 seconds away from Phase B. And as much as we might want otherwise, the way the Russians are deployed, you can take the town for a bit, but I think he's going to fall off.
Yeah, Ninth Cavalry, even with both these divisions being Vanguard, Ninth Cavalry definitely has the worst attrition warfare compared to Kato, just due to the deck composition. So, yeah, I feel like if Frub doesn't manage to really exploit his town push past the town, he's gonna have a bad time. And even then, like right now, he cannot deal with these Hedges or Tigers. He does not have capable AT weaponry to kill out many bloody tanks.
That's true. And honestly, now we have Hussarok's coming on in too.
Oh, yeah. And you don't mess with Hungarian infantry. Oh no, especially when they're cavalry based.
That is for damn sure. And we are seeing a bit of this earlier push has been cleaned up a bit in the center part. Kato definitely losing a bit of his excitement, if you know what I mean, on the map overall.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think for Frub, trying to retake his middle hill would definitely be a good idea. It's forest, it's CQC, you can get in close with your awesome Cossack infantry. It's still going to be a bloody battle, uphill all of that, but this is definitely a big bulge in his lines that he really needs to try and, squash.
I'd actually even like to see Kato move from the southern edge of the map, though, too. He knows there's still a Valentine there. He's exchanged fire with it before. Sweep around a little bit. You know the Russians can't be holding much in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well. But it looks like for the moment, both sides content just to start lobbing shells at the front line.
Yeah, it's just an artillery roar up north with field... Oh, we've got some rocket planes coming in now.
Yeah, plenty of lag. Hussars, escape, my friends, escape! That just seems like overkill.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm gonna hide behind the fact that legitimately, I'm terrified no matter what. Whenever aircraft goes after infantry, that's not even fighting sporting.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't a worthwhile rocket run, I'd say. He stressed out some infantry units, and that's really it. Even though they are AT planes, you can use them against soft targets rather effectively. It's still just a bunch of high explosives, but even then, that still probably wasn't the best option.
Probably not. Now, we are going to see two captured T-34s over here trying to engage these field artillery pieces on this southeastern... Oh, like that...
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm a little nervous for them, but I think it's just because of the distance. They do have those heat shells, but I don't think it's really going to penetrate that effectively.
No, they can't. That Soviet German sloped armor is just not enough for that Soviet gun to deal with.
Traitors.
No. Yeah.
But not to be outdone, Frubblord says, we need more Cossacks in the northern town. And Valentine's, so by the time they get there, it might be Valentine's Day. But in the meantime, not the biggest bang for his buck, I don't think. I think you're right. I think that it must be much better served Swing these field artillery pieces to the south, engage this hillside. You see these two Cossacks coming on in at the moment. You might as well be more proactive, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it right now by getting some of those Kazanki PPS-8s in there, but as we're seeing the problem with short-range SMG squads, they can't get close enough to these Jaeger Pioneers to actually engage them effectively. And
Especially not with E2 in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, the SMG squads are pretty terrible once you get into a light forest. But he's moving up tanks now, he's moving up a bunch of infantry. Maybe he could use a little bit more infantry with that tank push. But fortunately for him, as we know, there's not really much AT on that hill, so the tanks will be rather safe.
Well, there is a pretty kitty moving on in. So
Oh, yeah.
the forest might fall for a moment. But bring that tiger in, and as long as it doesn't get flanked too quickly, it's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be... It's pretty risky bringing the tiger in, because if it does get flanked, like you said, it will not go well for it. But at the same time, you know, tigers do a pretty good job of killing medium tanks.
But these German infantry, you know, fearless as a hunting dog, charging to the fore and getting swatted down for their temerity.
I really like his push. It's this ballsy, just moving up all the tanks on the hill, but it's working. It's working rather well, and I don't know, I think it looks cool.
That's gonna run out
no.
right about now.
The Luke's just shut down. And the Tiger's coming in as well, and he got some close air support. I know the Tiger might be a little bit outgunned here.
Outgunned, but never outfought. I don't know. We have 2 shots so far. The northern town continues to rage. Transmission damage, that's fine. I don't need to run anywhere.
Yeah. Track's broken. He's definitely not going anywhere now. But he got some fire support from a AT gun all the way in Southern Hill, helping out the Tiger, but the Tiger is pretty much just waiting to be surrendered now. The T-34 rushes up.
Yeah, I mean he's got more crits than you know what, I don't even have a comment for that. There's a ton of crits there.
Yep.
So like you said, not the greatest idea to rush the Tiger on in. I imagine I was seeing a much more glorious attack there. But even while that happens, the northern town has fallen basically under the German control.
Yeah, yeah. The nice thing with Hartnick is you got really good infantry as well, even though you're not like, well, yeah, kind of infantry deck you mechanize. Just shows Hungarian troops and the right Jaeger STGs are so beefy and they have really good weaponry, yet they can hold their own extremely well, especially against a more, you know, the Russian Cossack division with, well, all their Cossacks.
You know, down south we still have 290 points worth of material just kind of chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Being contained by about 70.
Scary us that MG in the forest, but he's bringing up some SVT squad to try and clear us out. And this is a great move from Frubblord. As you can see, he's got a flag advantage over Kato now. Now, is he going to try and exploit this push? As we can see, there's nothing on the hill opposing him, so maybe trying to get a push on there and getting onto the enemy hill would be a good call. But we'll have to see. For right now, he's doing pretty good, just with the flag advantage.
True. We are actually seeing a resumption of the attack happening as we speak. 3 more squads, the Superiors and Cossacks moving in, 2 more T-34s and that Recon 76. So, decent idea there. You know, the weird thing for me to a certain extent is that the Tigers get critted out so easily. And I understand the context of it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they take 1 shot and suddenly it's like, okay, there goes half the crew.
Like I said, small caliber AT guns and just fast firing AT guns in general are really good. Even though if they can't kill the bloody tank, as you can see, they can cause so many critical hits and stress you out, yet you pretty much take the tank combat ineffective. And this is why you use Valentine Mark 9s, as they're pretty good at critting out other tanks.
I believe you meant to say a pain in the ass, but fair
They're
enough.
also a pain in the ass. But they're also a pain in the ass to actually get anywhere. So it evens out.
We are going to get Tigers and 4 squads of Hussars in the center to kind of bolster that defense. So while the Soviets have taken their hillside back, I don't know that they're going to hold on to it forever and ever and ever. But Phase
Yeah,
C, but Phase C is coming. So what's that going to look like between these two?
it's once again more depletion of resources. The attrition's definitely probably going to be hitting them stronger just due to how the decks are set up. But like I said before, Kato does have the better late game advantage in terms of deck composition in general. But right now, Frubblord, he's doing alright. I think just as long as Frub doesn't completely lose that northern town, he's pretty much in the game. And he's holding it. He's holding it pretty strong. He's got a lot of dudes in there, setting up the thin red line.
Yeah, I don't really see us as being British though, and I'm pretty sure if you called them such capitalists, they would kill you.
Uh,
But you're right. No, I mean, Thin Red Line's a perfect way to talk about it. If you look, he's got clusters, northern area, central, down south. He's going commando down there.
I know. It's actually pretty fortunate that Kato hasn't really thought about doing a push all the way in the far southern side because he could pretty easily capture some points.
But I do think what's going on here, though, is I think that Kato is just content to snipe from a distance in the north, continue to erode that tank, continue to erode the infantry. He's got mortars in the area. He still has a supply truck that's got half munitions. There's no need to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, he knows that he's got the advantage in terms of the division map.
Yeah, and he's still winning in terms of actual points. He's slowly losing right now, but he's got all the time in the road to try and make things up.
True, true. It's like a paper cut that's not even like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like a paper cut that just bleeds for a year, and maybe that'll be bad.
Yeah, like it gets like a vital artery and you bleed out and die. That'd be a really like crappy way to go.
That got dark. I mean, you're not wrong, but that got really dark.
Yeah. Death by paper cut.
Ugh. Vicious paper cuts.
Mm-hmm. Like a really big piece of paper, okay?
Like poster board, even.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even cardboard.
Meanwhile, there's this one Tiger again. Tiger Fuhrer, his transmission's been damaged. He's still moving and shooting. Like, you got to be impressed by that.
Yeah, I think at that point he's probably a little bit furious.
Ooh, boo. Boo. Ugh. But in the meantime, we are seeing the Hussars are coming on in, and while they don't have a ton of ranged anti-tank, they do have just enough anti-tank to be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I think
once
he's
they're
probably
getting
doing-
close.
Where's he gonna push? Here's my question: where is Kato pushing?
Oof. I mean, he's doing a little bit of the push in the middle of the Hussars, but that just seems more of a skirmish. Or just like scout it out, it's nothing too major. I still once again think he's mainly just trying to erode his northern front more than anything with all his stuff.
Makes sense. Now, kind of interesting, we have a Luke that's almost behind enemy lines. Starting to get shot at by the freaking PTRD, which I continue to maintain is ridiculously overpowered. But I understand the P2 is not that heavily armored.
And it's about to get flanked by a Valentine. No, mind. The Valentine doesn't have line of sight. He's just shooting at the Tiger.
Yeah, and the tracks are broken on that freaking Tiger as well, so now's the time when you call in the 7 GIs to crawl over the tank and get blown to pieces by a 20 mil. Oh wow, I was like, where'd all those armored vehicles go? You have this counterattack behind the forest, which, like you said before, oddly beautiful to see.
Oh yeah.
Oddly beautiful. Not expecting it at all.
And down south you got all the Kazakis as well.
Well, are they moving forward, do you think? You think it's going to be an engagement? Like an actual push?
Yeah, I think he's gonna actually try to take Hamburger Hill down south. I don't think 4 Kazakis is gonna be enough to get that position, frankly. They definitely need some artillery or just fire support to flatten that hill. But it's definitely a good idea, because that's a pretty vital position to get under control.
Well, one thing they are bringing those Kazakhstan is for that recon ability. We're seeing a couple of anti-tank guns getting taken out as we speak. 4 squads, yeah, they're moving up the hill, but there's a ton of stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a bloody firing line for the medium tanks of Frubblord. They just, yeah, and Infinite Hill just gets completely obliterated by one of the T-34s and a few Shermans.
Not too shocking. Now, did I see before you said there was a close air support from the Luftwaffe?
Mm-hmm.
Did I get knocked out? I didn't see it go down, but I could have been completely and totally blind.
I know it's one ages ago of like a Messerschmitt 410, but yeah, that's all I've really seen so far.
Okay. 6 more Kazakh squads coming in, trying to salvage this infantry fight in the center. I think it makes sense, and I think we're going to see this capture, this Boyd's T-34 go out and say, yep, there we go.
Boom. The Panzer III down south is not having a good time. A little bit too much AT rifle fire from the Kazakis is stressing them out a bit. But yeah, it's this far southern push is working out rather well. I know we've got the medium tanks are moving up. They're going to be engaging 2 Tigers. Probably not going to be the best engagement for them. Only 1 Tiger at the moment. The other one doesn't have line of sight.
We gotta just ignore the infantry fight for a bit. Let your infantry deal with it on their own.
There we go. He's moving up to help his tiger bud. They hunt in packs. Oh, do they?
No, tigers are
don't.
very solitary animals. Ooh, and he goes down. Courtesy, actually, of that ZIS-76, excuse me, SU-76. Loader killed. That sucks. Time to beat a hasty retreat, good sir.
Mm-hmm. Damn, like, that's gonna be another tiger. Like, not gonna be having a good
Here's
time.
The 410. That's one. Where's the... Oh, there it is. I was like, where the blazes is Frubblord's heir? 410 might die here. He does.
He's very dead.
But you know what? That's fine. I will trade 1-4-10 to start chipping away at that infantry blob, excuse me, tank blob that's right there.
Our Pack 40 is in a very good spot down south. Going to be ambushing that T-34, and that is going to save the Tiger's life and allow it to get into a much better position for a longer range firefight.
Well, yeah, but think about it. Who's going to go and actually put a Pack 40 behind the front lines?
Good point. I think he was moving up, and he just got like a good opportunity to get some free pot shots before getting to, you know, his target destination.
Pets are moving into the south, by the way. I think this medium push is going to begin to fall apart very quickly.
Yeah, he really lost the momentum. The 410 coming in, as well as just that Pack 40 is in a good spot. It's a shame for Frubblord he didn't manage to knock out that Tiger, because that definitely would have really opened up this middle area for a larger offensive. But for now, he's just stuck because Hamburger Hill, the southern hill, is just completely pounding him with all the AT guns there. And the Hussar Rooks have managed to get back on Frublord's hill. So this isn't really looking good for Frub. I mean, looking all the way up north as well, he's still holding the town. It's actually pretty quiet in the town front, as most of the action's been really happening in the mid.
I confess, I always overlook how devastating semi-automatic rifles are. But the Hussar is making me a believer. He's probably going to go down from just morale, but regardless, quite damaging.
Yeah. Semi-auto rifles, second best weapons, infantry weapons in SC2. Like, it's much better to have like a infantry unit with a bunch of semi-autos and like a machine gun infantry unit. Machine gun as in like
MG34s, yeah.
Not like proper machine gun teams.
We
It's
also
completely
have
different.
a couple of fuck you 231s on the map. So we have several different countries here today. The U.S. was here for a while, as is France rearing its head. And naturally, the Russians are seeing all their equipment is just getting shredded.
This is the thing I love about Steel Division in general. It's just the multiculturalism that the Germans bring to the table.
Yeah, people say that they're all about having like the whole just master race thing, but like,
Oh.
it's a big umbrella.
We had French, we have Hungarians, we have Germans, we had Brits on the Russian side, we have Americans, we had Russian. We had like 6 countries featured today so far.
There's a
In
Korean
one match.
someplace. There's probably a Finn who
Yeah.
wants to go communists. Actually, it's not the
Yeah.
SS division. Never mind. Carry on. But we're actually Kato's starting to run low. We're seeing battery fuels being brought on in. So I'm a little surprised by that. I also confess I would have liked to have seen more artillery brought sooner by the Germans.
Yeah, it definitely would have helped out. I mean, just fighting in this middle area due to how clumped up your forces are always going to be on the hills. Artillery is always a good choice, and it's going to bring in a battery leader to get some more accurate fire onto the hill, and yeah, you can just batter it away and must clean up the rest of his hussars.
I also didn't appreciate that we have a platoon of German infantry basically piercing the Russian line by about, what, a kilometer and a half? Yeah,
Oh yeah,
almost 2 kilometers. I didn't even realize that they had this massive, massive penetration.
and they're in a really good spot on that hill. They're buildings, and they got a very nice ambush position on the top part of that hill, yeah. So it's going to be a pretty easy flag to hold, and I think that thin red line up north is just, it's starting to falter, starting to break a bit.
Well, as much as you want the stabilizers, you can't repel firepower of that magnitude for too long.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I think in terms of the divisions, I'm trying to think of word here. Hartnick is definitely the one much better equipped for later stage play, and we're really starting to see that.
Indeed, although we are seeing 6 squads of Kazakh PPSHs being brought on in. So not to be outdone by the absolute mad numbers of semi-automatic rifles and stuff like that facing him with the Hussars, Frub says, you know what, caution to the winds, let's bring in as many troops as possible.
Mm-hmm. Throwing all PPSHs. We're on to storm the town.
The embarrassing thing is when they start getting seen by this AT gun. Like right now.
Oh! Great spot for the AT. So he is riffing his shots.
The first couple ones, but you know what? All he's got to do is freak him out a bit.
Yep.
And even if he takes out one, that's more than enough. Okay. But when he doesn't take out any at that point, I would say let's send him to the Russian front, but he's already there. We are going to see some Cossacks in the meantime getting flanked by Hussars. Actually, they're caught between the two of them. That's a rough place to be. With a Razvedka on either getting flanked as well. So I think this is what you were talking about. That Kuphartneck is going for the neck.
Yeah, and as we're also seeing, Hartnick hasn't really lost any tanks. Like, a lot of the Tigers are still alive, a lot of the Hedges are still alive. And that's just because Knife Cavalry can't deal with him. They do not have good long-range AT, period, with Knife Cav. You really have to rely on just flanking maneuvers and all of that, which you can't always rely on.
And Frubblord realizes that, and 32 minutes and 3 seconds in, he does tap out. KD, about what I expected. It felt a little bit maybe more even than this, but
it felt like a pretty even match, frankly,
yeah,
for most of it. I mean, at the end, Kato's just... I'm looking at chronology.
By the way, there were, in fact, 2 410s. One got brought down by ground fire, the other by Ivan Nikitovich Kozadub.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the time of year. Just allergies, you know.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Kato really did a good job just blowing up all the German, Russian, American stuff.
Hey, man, when you see something good, you just gotta go with it. But regardless, I think if memory serves, I think Kato goes on to take the second game in this matchup as well, but I don't think we're covering that today. Outside of that, though, well played to both players. I think it was the divisional matchup that kind of screwed over Frubblord at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's... Ninth Cavalry is a hard division to play, just because lack of long range AT, and you have to pretty much run in the first 20 minutes.
True, but you know what? You gotta give some love to the fact that he played it even at all.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job. If that town fight, if he could have captured the town and pushed a little bit further out of it, he probably would have had a better time on that matchup.
Certainly more than likely. But I think for us, that's going to close our first coverage over here of the SD2 Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
What are we bringing for the next time? Do you remember?
Nope.
Well, guys, I guess you got to come back as well to check in. Until then, though, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.